to come from LA.
Yeah.
And you experienced a bit of the earthquake?
Yeah, I got woken up a couple of times by aftershocks. A bit of a shaking and rattling.
Nick, because you've been to LA several times, have you experienced this earthquake thing before?
I've experienced a couple of aftershocks in my time, but not an actual earthquake.
Why do you live there?
I don't live there.
Why do you like to go there so much?
Well, you know, the coffee's good and the breakfasts are long and, you know, I don't know. I actually like the smell of unleaded fuel. I'm a bit of a rev head, you see. I drive a V8 normally, and I quite like that sort of experience of, you know, and LA's my lady.
See, I can ask you any question, I'm going to get a good answer. It doesn't even matter.
A long answer.
You're on your own, Neil.
So the All Blacks.
Yes.
Why don't you explain to people watching the show who the All Blacks are?
The All Blacks are New Zealand's national rugby team. And, yeah, I just went and saw them play in England while I was there, actually, and they lost. Got a feeling I'm jinxing them.
Now, right now it's the Super Bowl here in around North America, and it's a really big deal. Now, they lost a huge game, and you went to console them, did you not?
Who, the All Blacks?
Yes.
Yeah, I did actually, yeah. Well, I'd arranged to get tickets off one of the players, and he said that I had to come back afterwards, and after they lost, I wasn't so sure it was a good idea, but nevertheless, they took me back, and I experienced the the locker room sort of post-defeat gloom, which was really quite an interesting thing to do. You know, the smell of liniment and naked forwards sort of gathering around crying on each other's shoulders, and it was pretty good. And they stuck a guitar in my hand and I had to sing for them. And they actually, it was just like out of a movie, really. In the end, they all started to sing, and you know...
Don't Dream It's Over?
Well, that, amongst others, yeah, Better Be Home Soon, I think, particularly resonated for them. But, yeah, all the songs seem to be quite pertinent, actually, strangely enough.
Now, why is it that you're actually very funny, but your songs are so serious?
They're funny sometimes, too. I mean, there's humour in the songs that people don't pick up on. It's dark humour, admittedly, but... Well, you know, I mean, I think we like to have fun with sort of things like interviews and between songs on stage because naturally when we're together there's a spark there, but and also I mean otherwise they're so deathly dull, and nothing worse than hearing a musician give a very serious explanation of what he's about, you know. I mean really, is anybody that interested? I don't know if they are, but we're very serious about the music. I mean it's contrast, you know, yin and yang, balance, call it what you like.
Let's talk about the Beatles for a sec.
Let's not.
Oh, come on.
No,
this is a good thing.
Let's not.
The MBE. Tell me what that is.
It's the OBE, actually. Well, it was an...
Oh, okay. Now tell me what that...
It's the Order of the British Empire. And they have them here, don't they? Or they just discontinue them here?
I don't know.
No, it was just a thing, you know. Politicians decided that New Zealand we'd become successful enough that they would recognise us in some way, and so they gave us a Queen's honour. They've discontinued them in Australia. They gave me one,
They gave Neil one. New Zealander.
Yeah, but in Australia they now
don't have it in Australia because of the Republican movement there.
Yeah.
Which is quite, you know, aware of severing its ties with Britain and establishing its own identity.
Oh, I see.
So it'll have them.
Nick's embarrassed that I've got an OBE. He has to,
I want to make it perfectly clear that as an Australian I don't accept OBEs.
Well, the Beatles, John Lennon sent his back, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah.
And you kept yours.
Well, I've got something to give back now, you know. Isn't that an asset, really, I would say.
It's something to hang over their heads. If you don't behave, I'll send it back.
Yeah. Well, I haven't actually been invested yet. It's all a bit strange, really. But Nick's particularly embarrassed about it. I don't know why.
Now, when I brought up the Beatles and you say you don't want to talk about it, why is that?
Oh, just because people keep asking us about the Beatles, and there's, you know, people think that there's Beatle-esque elements about what we do, which there may well be subconsciously, but it's just something that we'd like to kind of get beyond if we can.
I would think, though, almost every band comes from the Beatles.
Well, I would disagree with that.
Really?
Yeah, I would, yeah.
And tell me why.
Well, I can think of many that don't. I don't think Led Zeppelin had anything Beatlish about them particularly.
But they were around the same time as the Beatles.
Oh, a bit later. A little bit later. And, but yeah, there's a strong connection. They obviously opened doors. What the good thing that they did, which I love the Beatles, I really do, and I think the great thing about them was that they were prepared to redefine themselves all the time and to try different things and not just be a pop band. They stretched those parameters, and in a way they made it easier for all of us to kind of dip into different styles and not feel self-conscious or limited about it.
Mm-hmm. If you were to describe this album for someone who hasn't heard it, the new one, Together Alone, how would you describe it?
Not easy, really. I think it's an album that contains a sense of place where we recorded it. It's dripping with atmosphere and intense and emotional intensity, and beyond that I can't really describe it much else.
It's the heaviest album that you've done for sure.
Yeah.
Does that have anything to do with youth? The guy from Killing Joke producing your record?
Partly, although he's kind of a gentle soul in his own way. He's got both sides. What do you think, Nick?
I think a description of it would be a little journey down the path of collective consciousness, hoping to connect with a mass consciousness.
What? What?
You're on your own, Nick.
Peut-être.
There we go.
Peut-être for all our Quebecois.
All right.
I mean, I think it's you know, there's a lot of people out there are quite prepared to describe it in a way, and it's kind of their job, not ours.
But sometimes there's certain things about it that you're particularly proud of, or that you intended to get across, that you think you accomplished on this album, for example?
Well, I think there's a kind of blurriness about the atmospheres, which I like. A lot of our previous albums have been quite neat and tidy and everything in their place, and this time there's a few sort of loose edges and some moments where you're not sure what's creating the sound. There's like mysterious elements in the sound, which I like. And there's a lot of emotion in the album as well, I think. It was an intense thing being in an isolated spot altogether, and it brought a lot of stuff out. 7 out of 10 marriages don't survive in Kari Kari Beach. It's a frightening statistic.
What do you mean?
Well, it's because it's a hard place to live. It's wild weather and incredibly inhospitable coastline. So I think when people go out there, they shed a lot of the facade of urban living, and their true feelings come to the surface.
Wow, sounds kind of magical.
Well,